Good morning, everybody. We're out for another day. This will be our last day of exploring in the Flinders Ranges for this trip. So we're up and at it fairly early. And we only had to drive a few kilometres to get to Huck's Lookout. And we're looking over to the southwest area. And look at that spectacular mountain range. That's the eastern side of the Wilpena Pound. And just the colours in it at this time of morning, absolutely outstanding. And I'll just do the old 360 jobby for you. I'll just walk around here a bit as well. All the hills here in this morning sun don't look to have the green tinge about them until you get the right angle, and then you can spot it again. As I come around here to look back to the south, you can see that green tinge, and even more over here. It's just a very gentle breeze this morning. It's still a very cold breeze, nowhere near as cold as what we've had for the last week or so. Very pleasant. We're off to explore another gorge today. This is a pretty awesome way to start the day, I think.
Hello and welcome to Audrey the ICONN Adventures. I'm Connie.
And I'm Daryl.
And this is Audrey the ICONN.
Today we're off to explore Bunyeroo Gorge. So we've just come in off the bitumen. It's probably 150 metres back that way. And there's a little information spot along with bins. And what has really impressed me about these parks down here is that they have not just rubbish bins, also have recycle bins. They're doing the right thing, and the other states that we've travelled through could learn a thing or three from what they do down here around the Flinders area. So Bunyeroo Gorge today. Let's go see what we can find. We've driven in about 10 kilometres from the blacktop. All very easy drive so far. And now we finally get a clear view of the ranges. Seen some lovely bird life on the way in. Seen some of our Port Lincoln ringnecks. Plenty of Corella, magpie, galahs. We've just been driving through this lovely open hillsides. And we found this big hill rock that on the phone it's impossible to tell. We did get a photo of me standing next to it. I'm only just a little bit taller than that rock, and my arm span is not as much as that rock. So those of you who know me can use that as a bit of a guide as to how big that rock is. So yes, our first proper view of the ranges since we started this drive this morning. So let's go see what else we can find. The bands of colour of the Wilpena Pound. Just a little further along, and here we are crossing the ICONN Trail again. I mentioned in a previous video how it's about 1,200 kilometres long, wandering all the way through the ranges. And here we are, we found this Yunyana hut over the back, which we'll go and have a look at. And there's a set of horse yards here that were put together by a couple of different groups of people way back in 2012. So I don't know if it was a restoration of something that was here or just something that they set up for the trail walkers. So we'll go over here and have a look at this hut. You won't get much better end post for your fence than a tree, whose roots are probably deeper down than the hole you wanted to be able to have to dig. Mind you, the tree has died. That being said though, you can still see the little seed pods on it. Little tourist aircraft clearing off in the distance. We've been hearing them quite a bit while we've been in the Flinders Ranges. I don't know if they're flying out of Hawker or Wilpena or where it is. Here's the hut. And of course it's got the obligatory graffiti on it. Just while we're walking along here, check out the beautiful green grasses on the land. I don't know how often it rains out here. For an area that's in drought, it's lovely and green at the moment. So fingers crossed they keep getting some rains to help break that drought spell for them and keep it lovely and green like this. So we'll just come around and see what we see. Somebody's had the fire outside. There's a sitting platform. She's a Coro hut, this one, with a lovely big stone fireplace. A tree outside the front door. So let's go see what's inside, shall we? Oh, there's...
It's here for the purpose of the walkers.
Oh, okay. There you go. This hut is provided for overnight walkers' use. Oh, very good. Very good. Let's see what we can see inside. I'll let the camera catch up. Look at that, there's the fireplace.
I don't think the kettle will work.
Yeah, maybe you might recall we had that camp at Pally and we found the green energy PowerPoint. The kettle would work in that one. Yeah, if you don't know what we're referring to, you might have to go back and have a look at our pubs, bars, bush and wineries tour. And in some of the photos there's some green energy. Well, there's a couple of chairs, tarp on the ground, a broom so you can clean up.
And someone's taken all the food and not put any back.
Oh, okay. Actually, there's a few chairs in here, and a table, and self-inflator, and a little dome tent. And as I say, oh, how's this? There's even a fork. Fork to be able to use. Woohoo! So, very good. And it'd be lovely. It's lovely and warm in here because the breeze outside is a little bit chilly today. Even a fire extinguisher. How's that? Hopefully it hasn't been abused. Let's have a look. It's still in the green. Very good. So Yunyana Hut. And it's part of the ICONN Trail. A little further along from the Yunyana Hut. And there's a nice little parking area on the left. And a short walk up to this view of the Bunyeroo Valley. We're just getting closer and closer to that wall where the bands of colour are just standing out so well this morning. If we come over here a little bit, we can look down into what could be the start of Bunyeroo Valley, which could then in turn turn into the Bunyeroo Gorge. You see where the sheep have been crisscrossing the hill over there, and there's quite a bit of depth to get to the bottom there. And I think where those cars are stopped just out there, just to the right of the centre of the screen, is another lookout, and that may be Razorback, as we believe that's the start of the valley just there in front of us, below those brown rolling hills. And that's what sweeps around below us here. And it's going to turn into the Bunyeroo Gorge as we keep progressing along the track today. So it's so green at the moment, it's just stunning. The bit of rain that they had a month or so ago has done absolute wonders for this area. Totally transformed it. Razorback lookout. Busier than Pitt Street on a Saturday morning on freebie day. Just back around hard to see now on the phone, but just up over here is where we just were. Bunyeroo Valley lookout, and you can see down through the valley here. You can see there that the road heads down, so that's going to take us down to the gorge proper. Just a fantastic view here, all the way around. We're just a short distance down from Razorback. That's it up there, just through that light stand of trees. And like I said, I don't know, 500-600 metres. A little turn off here. There is a post there to say, hey, come take a picture. It's not a named lookout. It wasn't even on the map. So a nice little bonus for us. So it just brings us down in height. So we get a slightly different view again of the range there. It gets us a little closer to the valley floor. The colours in the mountains are so strong. Okay, we're down in the gorge proper now, and as soon as you just take the last little right hand bend to get in here, just the greenery that is here at the moment is just phenomenal. So you get to listen to Eddie a little bit as we drive along here. Hopefully you can still hear me. And yep, you guessed it, heaps more of these whopping huge red river gums. With deadwood here and there that's washed along during various flooding.
The recent rains have been good for it, haven't they?
Yeah, we've come down roughly 100 metres from that last little lookout. We only drove about 500 or 600 metres along, so I came down fairly steep and fast, and just driving through here, it's just beautiful. We just couldn't get over all the sudden super bright greenery here as we came down in. We've been just driving along very slowly in the gorge here. This place has its own beauty and its own way, and it still has these beautiful big red river gums. Potentially this gorge is an older gorge without going and looking at the information board, and that could be why the rocks are different colouring again. And you see there's a bit of water here, and it's actually flowing along at the moment. You might be able to see it just there. So it is flowing along from up near the start of the gorge. So we'll see what sort of a puddle of water we have to drive through down here in a little while. I've had an oops. I pushed the wrong button on the dash cam. I've got no footage while driving any further through the Bunyeroo Gorge here. We did stop and take some photos, and that was the end of the Bunyeroo Gorge. Quite short, probably a couple of kilometres in total. So when you get to the end, the road sweeps to the north, and just up from that there's a little lookout called Twin Gums Lookout. Table and chairs there. It has a lovely view back over here of the various layers. So we're going to keep pushing along from here now. This drive takes you up and joins onto the road that goes through the Brachina Gorge. While heading north out of the Bunyeroo Gorge, we had to stop again and take more photos of just this beautiful mountain range and looking up through the valley. This for a view. That there is the Aruna Valley, and we are standing at the lookout, Brachina Gorge Road. So that's looking to the north. We just swing around about and look at the mountains we get to look at here. Just fantastic. It is just so incredible here. Everything is so green. You'd never think that you're in the Flinders Ranges seeing it as green as it is at the moment. Just to the east there along the road, we had to go through a really big water puddles.
There really is water over the road.
Can I drive through it?
I don't know. You want my permission or?
Yeah.
As long as you don't go up to our eyeballs, that's fine. Soft.
We're having an absolute blast here, and it's already like, you know what, we've got to come back. Okay, I've zoomed in here. That there's a whopping big, huge boulder that's come from up there at some stage. He would have made a heck of a noise, I reckon. He certainly would have made a path to get to where he is, because he's very big to the naked eye. Well, here we are at the Aruna Lookout. We've got Hayward Bluff. And that highest peak there is Mount Hayward, and that's looking to the west at the range. And the reason we came up here is because of the old ruin. We've got a home that was up there that Connie's just near at the moment. And just down in this area you can see the rock edging of the gardens. It's really well done, lots of boards here. You can actually see what it was all about. Just where these dead trees are in front of us here was the garden. And then you can see the built-up wall coming back through, leveled it all out, all the way over to where this gum tree is. That was all built up to make a nice veranda area. And then where Connie is walking now, that was all a slate slab floor, and there's stone chimneys there behind her. And then the building over to the left, that's a little bit more substantial, was a 2-roomed building with a cellar, and it also had a stone chimney. Okay, we're at the 2-room building here. Not much left of the fireplace now. You see a little bit of the slate that was on the floor here. And pan around and walk over, and you can see the cellar where it hasn't fully caved in. And come around here for a little bit of a treat. It looks like a very worn out, rough staircase to get down in there. There was an obvious opening there, the way that the wall work has been done. You can see there's a bit of a hole in the wall at the back there in the centre of the screen, and it seems to poke through to where those logs and rocks are just in front of the fence post there in the centre. There's still some steps here, and I'm just going to walk up around the back here. This is looking down one of the holes into the cellar. You still see a bit of the woodwork there. And if I walk down to this one, I'd say that was a 2-room cellar. This here is just a filled-in version of what we just saw. That would make sense. So you come in over there and you had your stairwell down, and then you had 2 rooms, and each of them had this hole that there was a fireplace. What we're looking at here is the main house, and you can still see some of the slate floor in place. Just as I walk through here. I tell you what, if you put a window in this wall here, what a view. Incredible. Just back inside now. The chimney places, not much left now. All fallen down over time. I think Connie said it was about 1880 that the house burnt down. And then there's steps up to something above us. Let's go have a look. I'm guessing we're on the border of the Flinders Ranges National Park. Let's look at that view one more time. We've just driven a little further west into the Brachina Gorge. So this is the very eastern end of the gorge. And look at the view that awaits you. The track's pretty good, a little bit rocky and rough in places. Just drive along nice and gentle. So yeah, you can see we're literally at the start of the gorge. 150 metres or so on from where we were just stopped. And we're down on the creek bed proper now. And just all the colours that you get in the rock. You see the lichen, that's the really light bits and pieces on it there. Check out the mountain in the background there. So, I was just saying to Connie, when I came through here 8 years ago, I couldn't get over the red colours, and just here is probably the closest we've been able to get to it while we've been here in the Flinders this trip. And with the sun on it, it's about middle of the day, sort of around 12:30ish, 1 o'clock now, and absolutely awesome. And then you check out some more of these ginormous big red river gums. We can't get over the amount of rubbish or dead wood as such that's washed up against them from over the years when they've had water rushing through here. Some of the piles are quite significant. As you can see here, there's other trees washed up and caught by these trees. Less than 100 metres later.
I don't think you even meant 20.
Just this massive tree right next to the road, and behind it, as I traverse all the river rock, just the cliff face here. So much orange and red in it. You see where it's been breaking down, and then all the greenery to go just really sets it off. Actually walking around here has been a good idea, because check out the mountain in the background there and all the greenery on that. I was saying to Connie when we pulled up after driving that somewhere between 20 and 100 metres that this is the sort of place you probably just need to get out and walk. There's another example or two or three of all the deadwood that's been caught by these trees when there's been some good serious water rushing through here. It would be a sight to see, that's for sure. It's quite wide, the creek here. I'm guessing an easy 50 metres wide. All of that dead wood would be probably 3 metres up the trunks of that gum. Just absolutely spectacular. We've just left the viewing area for the rock wallaby and first little creek crossing, and look at the colours of the rocks here, let alone the colours of the walls of the canyon. You'll just have to bear with the sound of Eddie there a bit as we idle through. Just look at the beautiful colouring in all these rocks. I know this isn't very good filmography. You know what? If you're enjoying it, that's all that matters. I'm enjoying looking at it and sharing it with the family and friends who are viewing it. I know some of my family have seen this, not all of yous. So this is so you can live vicariously through the travels of Audrey the ICONN Adventures with Connie and Daryl at the helm. A little further west, we're probably about 4 kilometres from the end of the gorge now, and you get met with this sight. Oh, I can hear another light aircraft out doing scenic tours, and you can see over here all the glorious colours just in that small section of the wall of the creek. There's a nice little picnic spot just over there behind those small bushes next to the road. You could bring a 2-wheel drive car through here easily enough. This is not a 4-wheel drive track to come through the Brachina Gorge. Just go gentle and you'll be fine. The water crossings, you can skirt around them to a degree, or just the very edge of them, and there's not always water there. We're here in August, I get to walk along here and just enjoy the fantastic views of these gorge walls, and hopefully not fall over on all these round river stones that make up the road. I'm purposely walking along like this just to show you how much it just goes on and on and on. I know that we will reach the end, and just all the different colours of rock that you get to see. And that's what blew me away when I was here 8 years ago, driving through this very gorge. Absolutely blown away, and I couldn't wait to get phone service to tell Connie that, hey, we've got to come here for a holiday. Took us 8 years, we're here. Absolutely loving it. This gorge was shut about 3 weeks ago to no traffic, and I believe that was all due to rainfall, and that's contributing to why it's so beautiful here at the moment. Earth did what it did, pushed things and shoved, and yeah, pushed it all up like this. And here we go, you got all those beautiful lines and the different colours of the various sediment from over the years. How's that for some beautiful colour? And then you see all the smaller stone just down below it. That's been broken away over the years. There's another scree slope up the back here through the trees coming from right up there from that ridge line. We literally drove 100 metres down the road, and I said, oh, I'm going to have to walk back. So we drove Eddie another 100 metres, stopped at the information sign, and then I've walked halfway back to where we were just before, just because it's a different view again, looking at all the walls, the colouring in the walls all the way through here. It just changes everywhere you look. So just over here, that's where we were just parked. So it shows that you don't have to go very far to see something that's just truly fantastic in this place. All right, looking back, we just drove a few hundred metres. We spotted this big hill of rock, so we're going to go over and get some size perspective on it. Okay, told you it was a big hill of rock, so I'll pop my lovely lady Connie next to it just to give you a little bit of size perspective. It's big. And you got to think, how did it get there? Especially when you look at all these other boulders laying on the ground around us. There's a little canyon just there, so we're going to go there for a little bo peepski. You know we are. Okay, the video is truly not going to show how beautiful it is in here. If you ever come for a drive through Brachina Gorge, this is right towards the western end of it. Keep an eye out for this little canyon on the side. And definitely come up here and have a look at it. Just the contrast in colours. We've got a lot of white on this side, and it's broken off and right down here in the floor. And then this side over here, it's predominantly red and brown and orange. So this is almost like when you read the information about the gorge, it's the various layers that are formed over the years, and it's almost as if this is a seam of where two of those layers met, and to our left is the older rock and to the right is the newer rock. And then we get to see some beautiful native pine / conifer trees in here as well. Fantastic. We've walked up into the little canyon 60-70 metres, and Connie came around that little bluff just behind her there and goes, oh wow, the colours change again. Look at them. Yes, it goes up a ways. If anything breaks off up there, I'm in trouble. I'll yell run. And the gorge, or this little canyon, keeps going. And we just don't have time today to keep following it. If we're here an hour or so ago, there would have been a lot more light in here and a lot more colour to have been had. So, as I say, if you ever get the chance to call in here and spend a bit of time, definitely do so. Just, the colours would be so amazing with the sun on them here. And then as it's moved over into the afternoon, it makes it look different again. I'm just going to pan down here so you can see how light and white so much of the rock is here. It's as if all the rock down here in the canyon has come from this side, and just a chunk or three has come from that side. It's so noticeable. I'm probably standing about 1.5 meters, 2 meters higher up than Connie is at the moment, so a little bit of rock hopping and climbing to get back down to where she is, and we will keep going. Continuing our wonderful journey through the Brachina Gorge, Cambrian vertical burrowing animals. Pretty hard to miss the signage that here it is. And it's just a little 50-metre walking trail, it says. So let's go up there and see what we can find. So we made the short walk, and if that was 50 metres, I can run the 100 metres in about 8 seconds flat. So Usain Bolt, watch out, I'm coming for you. So we're here at these
Parachilinal formations. So one of the key evolutionary signposts of the Cambrian explosion is the first appearance of distinctive Piper rock structures in rocks around the world. These structures are trace fossils, vertical and U-shaped burrows produced by soft-bodied worm-like animals. They evolved a body plan to efficiently burrow down. They're not well preserved, but what you can see are the distinctive vertical burrows that represent the permanent homes of these animals, where they could be safe from predators swimming in the water, yet still access food by filter feeding, ambushing prey, or eating the organic material in the sediment. The widespread burrowing is universally recognised as one of the most important drivers in the evolution of modern marine ecosystems.
Well, there you go. What, some 500 odd million years ago, I think this area is?
525.
There you go, 525 million years ago is what they think. Quite interesting. I haven't driven very far, just around past one of the multiple campgrounds in the gorge. And you can see this dark chocolatey brown coloured rock now starting to form the walls. And this is getting right towards the western end of the gorge now. You can see a bit of a hillside just out there. So let's see what else we can find. Another lovely spot and another one of these signposted areas. I'm not going to even have a go at pronouncing the first word. I can say reef though. Very easy to spot. When you pull up here, there's a parking bay just after it where we are, and another couple from New South Wales are parked up. And you can walk up here, very easy. Bring a bottle of water with you, because with this one, I'm going to see if I can get some of the wording correctly here. There was, where are we? It was part of the Cambrian explosion and development of the first reefs constructed by animals. The first animals were known as those archaeosaurs, and whilst they don't exist, I'll see if I can get the little picture on the sign here. They look a bit like a circular shell, and they say to pour some of the water on the rock. So when you stand back here, so I can show you where to pour the water on the rock. You've got the sign just there. You go into the rocks just here, and my water supply has gone with my lovely lady. And I did find it just here. And I don't know how well it's focusing for you there. You can see that red dot there. That's a typical centre of one of those little fossils. So yeah, pour a little bit of water in this area just here and you'll be able to see them. Connie did take some photos, so we'll put them up. Not all of them have the red dot in them. Here's an even better one that's right on the edge of the sunshine. Let's see how close I can get with this. It's right on the edge of the sunshine. You can see the little red slot and the circle action around it. It is easy to see once you spot them. When you pour a little bit of water on them, they stand out even better. Definitely worth the stop and pour just a little water and be lovely. Next episode, we go searching for yellow-footed rock wallaby and get to enjoy our best sunset so far.